Hello and welcome to Supreme Courts this week, where I will take you through legal developments that took place during the previous week. The first case, in which the Supreme Court granted 10 days to airlines and other stakeholders to file their reply to the centre's affidavit, stating that tickets booked by passengers in domestic and international carriers for air travel between March 25 to May 3 will be fully refunded. The bench also sought a clarification from the centre on the issue of refund of flights cancelled after resumption of normal operations after lockdown. The bench also sought to know if centre's proposal will cover the tickets which were booked during the pre-lockdown phase. In this case, the Supreme Court has recommended the central government to consider the efficacy of advance tax ruling system and make it more comprehensive as a tool for settlement of disputes. The bench of Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul and Indu Malhotra observed that one of the largest areas of litigation for government is taxation matters, and the petition rate of the tax department before the Supreme Court is at 87%. The court said that a vibrant system of advance ruling can go a long way in reducing tax litigation. Now, in this case, Supreme Court took note of the affidavit filed by the Union of India regarding the COVID-19 response. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta said that every state is required to follow these guidelines, and in substance, the ambulance can be summoned in a case of need. The bench also observed that the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has formulated India COVID-19 Emergency Response and Health System Preparedness Package on 23rd April 2020, and a SOP has also been issued on March 29. Now, in this case, the centre informed the Supreme Court that an expert committee at the highest level had been constituted in order to take a decision on the issue of moratorium extension, interest during moratorium, interest on interest, and other related issues to the loans. Solicitor General sought 2 weeks' time in order to place on record a comprehensive affidavit in this regard before the bench. Now, we all know the Adani Gas Limited case. In this, the Supreme Court granted a conditional stay of recovery of the penalty imposed by the Competition Commission of India against the Adani Gas Limited for abuse of dominant position. While the grant of stay for recovery, a bench of justice comprising D.Y. Chandrachud, Indu Malhotra, and K.M. Joseph directed Adani Gas Limited to deposit a sum of Rs 3.20 crores within 4 weeks out of total quantum of penalty of Rs 6.4 crores. Now, the Palghar lynching case, in which the Maharashtra Police has filed an affidavit in the Supreme Court, which deals with punishment meted out to 18 police personnel for their role in being unable to prevent the lynching of 2 sadhus in Palghar earlier this year. It is informed that a departmental inquiry was ordered against the police officers who were prima facie found to be negligent and in declaration of their duty with regard to handling the situation and preventing the commission of such a crime. The Supreme Court agreed to hear an appeal filed by the state of Tamil Nadu against a Madras High Court decision of acquitting prime accused in the 2016 Udamphilate Shankar murder case. A bench of Justice S.K. Kaul, Aniruddha Bose, and Krishan Murari said that this case certainly required consideration. On June 22nd, the Madras High Court had set aside the order of conviction passed by the Principal District Court and Session Courts Tripur against B. Chinnaswamy, the prime accused of the 2016 murder case, and ordered that he be released from custody forthwith. The trial court has awarded him death sentence in this. Now, in this case, the Supreme Court has reiterated that in case of exoneration in departmental proceedings on merits, and where the allegation is found to be not sustainable at all and the person held innocent, criminal prosecution on the same set of facts and circumstances cannot be allowed to continue. Standard of proof in a departmental proceeding being based on preponderance of probability is somewhat lower than that of standard of proof in a criminal proceeding, where the case has to be proved beyond reasonable doubt, observed the bench headed by Justice R.F. Nariman in a judgment. The punishment of dismissal is not disproportionate to corrupt employee, observed the Supreme Court, while dismissing an appeal of a CISF officer dismissed from service for indulging in corruption. The bench also observed that the charges such as corruption, misappropriation, and gross indiscipline are grave and ought to be dealt with strictly. The Supreme Court has held that a writ petition under Article 226 of the Constitution would not be maintainable in order to challenge an order which has been passed by the High Court in the exercise of its judicial power. In this case, the petitioner had filed a domestic violence complaint before the Metropolitan Magistrate, Bangalore, which was dismissed. The appeal against this order was dismissed by the Additional Session Judge, Bangalore. The High Court also dismissed the revision petition by the petitioner. The petitioner assailed this court by passing a High Court with a writ under Article 226 with a prayer to declare judgment of the single judge void. Later, this writ petition was transferred to the Apex Court. This was it for this video. Thank you for watching.